On today's show, what did you take away from this 5-day training?
I think the main thing, and every time I go to Sierra Leone, so I get more humbled, and I'm thankful to be born in this great country and have the access to things I have access to.
Yeah.
Because I think in my day-to-day life, I take it for granted and I do a lot of complaining.
Yes.
So that's one thing, just kind of humble me and to be thankful. Another thing that I learned is that some people in Sierra Leone live their whole lives and never get on a plane. So for them to get on a plane, even if it's just 45 minutes away, is like an opportunity of a lifetime. So that felt really good to be able to give them that opportunity. I also took away from it that I am on the right path. Like what I'm doing is in my mind, like I knew it was necessary, but I didn't know if, how beneficial it would be to teachers and students. But from meeting with my group of teachers, even the ministry in Gambia and the ministry in Sierra Leone, they both said the same thing. Like they know they have this issue, but they don't know what to do. So I feel good that I'm on the right path doing something that is really going to be impactful long term.
Welcome to Education Today. I'm your host, Solanke. I spent 15 years as a secondary English teacher, and I've also been on the other side as a parent of 3 children who have completed the formal schooling years of kindergarten through 12th grade and are now in the college and career stage. Now I'm here to have conversations with teachers, students, administrators, parents, and other stakeholders about all things education. Join me as I cover current topics in education from preschool through to college, career, and beyond. All right, welcome to today's show. My guest today is a returning guest, Nemahun Aminata. She has previously been on the show to talk to us about her 20 years of teaching experience teaching special education in Maryland, and also about a special project that she's doing in Sierra Leone, West Africa, working with teachers of special needs students, special needs such as autism, etc. And she is back again today to talk to us about a special project she did this summer. Welcome back to the show, Nemahun.
Thank you so much, Coco.
So just remind our viewers about your background in education and in special ed.
Well, I have been an educator for 20 years. I have taught special education for 20 years. This school year coming up will be my 21st school year. I also have a training program for special ed teachers, as you just mentioned, in Sierra Leone, West Africa.
That's awesome.
Where we train once a year in person and then once a month virtually.
Yeah, awesome. So a lot of people are low-key mad at teachers because we get summers off, but a lot of us do a lot of prep work, professional development, trainings over the summer. We really do. And you did something like that, something similar this summer. So tell us all about the project that you did this summer.
Okay, so the teachers that I trained in West Africa this year in Sierra Leone, as you know, they had elections. And elections in developing nations are kind of iffy for what the environment is going to be like. So I know I needed to go and be with the teachers for that 1 week in person because last year I didn't go because I got married. So this year I had to go. So I didn't want to go to Sierra Leone because of the uncertainty with the environment. So I found, actually my cousin who's half Gambian, she recommended to go to Gambia because it's close and they speak English, so there won't be the language barrier.
Yeah.
So I planned to take them there. So when I knew that we were going, I probably knew like in January, February that we were going to do that. Well, I had planned that. And I reached out to the Ministry of Education there.
In Gambia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To see if they would be interested in, because I'm like, okay, because my ultimate goal is to train the teachers in all the 16 ECOWAS nations. So I'm like, okay, since we're going to be here, I might as well get them on to do training as well.
Yeah.
So we went this summer and I did the in-person training with the teachers, and I had an opportunity to do the teachers in Gambia weren't really prepared to, because all of their funding comes from UNICEF and it's done annually.
Oh.
So by the time I reached out to them, it was already past the time that they set their budget.
Mm-hmm.
So I still, because I was there, I still met with them, and I gave them a 1 day training on the most important piece of special education, data collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what I did for a week.
That's amazing. Tell us a little bit. I mean, you mentioned that you did touch on it, but tell us a little about the logistics of putting this together and getting these teachers from Sierra Leone to Gambia and organizing a place for this to happen and a place for them to stay. What was that like?
It was so hard in my mind. So, when you travel, when it's you're used to, for me anyway, I'm used to traveling making plans for my family. And it's like, okay, everything just goes as planned most times. But there are a lot of things because I just kind of know things,
Yeah.
But there are a lot. I have never traveled from one African country to the next.
Yeah.
My only thing was, okay, it's visa free for them, so I don't have to worry about a visa.
Yeah.
But so there was the getting there, which was reasonably priced for them to get there. Okay,
Mhm.
so I had been raising funds. It was okay. I'm just going to tell you the story. I had been raising funds to get the teachers there, and I'm watching the ticket prices. I'm watching, and I had watched my ticket price. My
Yeah.
ticket price was about $800, right, from New York City to Gambia. So I was like, okay,
That's reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I'm checking mind you, I'm raising funds, trying not to come out of my pocket too
Yeah.
much. But as it came like towards March, April, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to, I wasn't raising enough.
Yeah.
And the teachers had already gotten their passports, like they were ready.
Yeah.
So I couldn't back out. It didn't matter if you had the funding. So anyway, so I'd been watching their tickets, watching it. So finally, I was able to get their tickets were fluctuating by like $20, $50, and it would go up and down, up and down, up and down. I wasn't watching my ticket, so my ticket ended up tripling
Oh
at the end.
no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So after I found an Airbnb for them, so I was like, okay, I would stay downstairs and then they would stay upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for the filters, I just put in a beach and put in Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Everything else we can work our way around, right? So got that. Got the ticket, got everything fine. Worked everything out. I had to get a loan. I had, but I made it work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But made it work. We get there. I get there. I get to Gambia. Oh no. Okay. So before that, my cousin who lives there, who lives in Gambia part time and in Maryland part time, she has a house there. So she said no. Go when I went to go meet with her, so she can tell me like what I should do, how to maneuver around Gambia. She said, no, stay at my house. She was like, no one's going to bother you. You're going to be safe. She convinced me. So I was like, okay, I'll just stay there.
Yeah.
That was the best decision. So then I didn't have to pay for my Airbnb.
Oh, I see.
That's fine. So I get to Gambia and they're like, okay, it's $20 to get in the country. I'm like, okay, why do you have to pay $20 to get in the country?
I've never heard that before.
Exactly. But I was like, okay, I'll pay $20 to get in the country. I have $20. Fine. I get there and I call the teacher. So the teachers get a stipend
Yeah.
to attend training every day, right? So the stipend is about $8, American dollars, okay? 150,000 Leon.
Yeah.
So I called the teachers that night and because they were coming the next day, I said, okay. I said, you all are going to have to pay $20 per person to come into the country. Do you have it? I said, let me know if you have it or not. I said, if you don't have it, it's going to come out of your stipend.
Yeah.
Because I didn't put that in the budget. Fine. So they're like, yeah, we don't have it.
Oh boy.
Put that. So I'm like, okay, fine. So the next day, I finally get my phone actually worked in Gambia. So that was a good thing. I didn't have internet, but like my T-Mobile service worked. So that was amazing. So the next day I went to go get I was out for like 4 or 5 hours, went and got a little Wi-Fi, the pocket Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I had that with me, got a local phone number. I took my Sierra Leone phone, got a local Gambian phone number so I can be in contact with all my business contacts there, right? Connect. So as soon as I plug up, my phone is charged, internet, I have like 15 missed calls from the teacher.
Oh boy.
They're like, we're in Sierra Leone. We have to pay $25 each to leave.
Oh,
we don't have it.
Oh my
goodness. I'm like, what in the world? So I'm thinking, I'm just watching, listen to my pockets go down and down and down.
Oh boy.
So I'm like, okay. And they're like panicking, they're frantic. I'm like,
How many
okay.
teachers is it?
It was 5 teachers and
Okay.
my assistant. So 6.
Okay.
Okay. So fine. So I'm like, okay, let me send the money on MoneyGram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I said, how do you want me to send the money? How can we do it? So I let them know at that moment. I was like, y'all not gonna have a stipend. You will
Yeah.
eat every day, that's already taken care
Oh
of, but
boy.
that stipend is done.
Yeah.
So they so they said you can send it to MoneyGram, send it to this person, whatever. I sent it MoneyGram, and then they're like, mind you, this is like 1:45. The plane is leaving at 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the lady at the desk was patient with them because she understood what was happening. But you know, for a plane, you have to go through at a certain time. By like,
Yeah.
so now after I send the money, then they're like, oh, now we have to go find a MoneyGram. I'm like,
Oh
what
boy.
in the world? Why are you not at MoneyGram right now? Like, why would you? So they had to find a bike and go to
My
MoneyGram. I
goodness.
said, no. I said, that's dumb. You're going to miss your plane and then you won't be here.
Yeah.
So I had to take another 150. It was 152 and change. And the lady, they had a QR code thing. So my
Mm-hmm.
friend that was with me, a QR code, and then you could pay it online, end up paying it
Okay.
online.
Okay.
So right there, that was $250 down right there
goodness.
because remember, I had already sent the money on MoneyGram.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So they get there, we get here. Then, of course, I had to pay the $20 to come in. So it's like, so before they even got into Gambia, their stipend was
Oh
done,
my
right?
goodness.
But what I did was, because so many people have donated to the trip, I have been posting everything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had planned in my mind to post everything. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay. So I screenshot the post from the teachers about the money for
Yeah.
the to get out of Sierra Leone. I screenshot it and I posted it. I told them what was going on, you know, whatever, whatever. And right there, that people, by the time I checked, because I don't like get alerts and saying, oh, you have a new donation, have a new donation. But when I checked, I was like, oh, the stipends is here.
Oh
Because a
wow.
lot of people have donated.
Oh
They have
wow.
donated. So I guess
Praise
they saw
God.
the urgency. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's nice. I'm like, good thing that I've, you know, been documenting. But my main purpose of documenting is so that people know that I'm not just taking your donations
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
you know, doing my
Mm-hmm.
thing. This is
Mm-hmm.
actually what's happening.
That's good.
So that ended up working for them,
Yeah.
right? So we're able to get the stipends. Got the house. The house was nice. You know, it was nice. They were fine with it.
Yeah.
They were really, really appreciative of, like, when I asked them, like, you know, how's the training going so far? And I was so shocked that like I had to hold back tears because they were talking about how they've never operated an air conditioner
Yeah. Yeah.
and they can turn it on and off. They were in
Mm-hmm.
control of it. They were talking about, oh my God, the water runs all day.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, I have to go get water.
Yeah.
They were talking about having 3 meals a day. Like, that was only
Yeah.
2 teachers really said, I really appreciate the training.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at that moment, I kind of realized, I was like, dang, this is way more than what I thought it was,
Yeah.
you know?
You know, that's
It was just
interesting because, you
bigger.
know, in America, we always talk about, you know, before we teach students, we have to make sure that their
Yeah.
emotional and physical needs are met. But I guess the same applies for teachers. Before teachers can be effective, we need to make sure that our emotional and physical needs are met also.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yep. That's
Yeah.
a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you usually do Zoom trainings, and I know that those are rife with all kinds of problems because of, you know, issues with like electricity being stable in Sierra Leone, etc. Maybe even Wi-Fi issues. So what were the benefits to you of having this face-to-face training?
Well, the benefit was because we still had electricity issues,
Yeah.
minor,
Oh, really?
minor,
Oh,
but not nothing compared to Sierra Leone, very
yeah.
minor. So there was one day where like the Wi-Fi and the internet wasn't working, or they had on the website they say they have Wi-Fi, but they have like that same pocket Wi-Fi I had.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have to be in certain spaces to get the Wi-Fi, you know.
Uh-huh.
So but I mean, but I was able to work around it because I have slides. I teach with slides. So an
Mm-hmm.
HDMI cord, I just connected to the TV, and I didn't really need the internet.
Oh, I see.
So I
Yeah.
didn't need the internet. So we were able to, you know, do the slides and I think the biggest thing, and when the teachers mention this, is I can see what they're doing, and I use a lot of the teacher, like the teacher strategies, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Josephine, thank you so much. We do a raffle. So they get
Yeah,
a
yeah.
raffle because I have all these supplies. So I don't just give it to them, I raffle them off. So
Mm-hmm.
we lay them out on the table, and then whoever's picked, they get to go choose. We do 3 raffles a day.
Yeah.
So when they're not, if they're on their phone or doing whatever, I'm like, oh, Josephine, thank you so much for being on task. Here's 3
Yeah.
raffle tickets for you. So
Uh-huh.
just being able to see like who's really focused and
Yeah.
who's here and who. So that was a good thing. And then the fact that I felt like I got more questions in person because they don't ask a lot of questions. Like if they don't understand something, they'll just leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here I'm like, no, because every day we did an assessment too,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to get 80% or better because at the end I give them a certificate. You either get a
Yeah.
certificate of participation that you were here, a certificate of attendance, or a certificate of completion. They
Yeah.
know that. So I saw them just working hard to make sure that they get it. It was, everything in person is it's just a whole different
Yeah.
feel,
Yes.
you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's interesting. So I know you cover a lot of material with your teachers in your monthly Zoom meetings. So, but what was the main academic focus of this? How many days was it, by the way?
5.
5. So, what was the main academic focus of this 5-day in-person training in Gambia?
So informal assessment. So that's what we've
Mm.
been working on this whole school year
Yeah.
is informal assessment
Mm-hmm.
because here in America we have access to. I know how to do the Woodcock Johnson. I know how to do a bunch of different assessments,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have that there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you don't. I know that the school where they are, there's someone who comes and they learn, they know how to do it, but I don't know if they actually have all the materials and have everything they need.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching them informal assessments that they can do.
Yeah.
You can do this with all your students, and you don't know like all the details, but you'll know enough information to guide your instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So this week we focused on I had already done running records with them. We did it virtually, but we did that in person now
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to actually see them do it. So we were
I'm sorry,
doing
what was that? Running what?
running records.
Oh, okay.
Running
Yeah.
records,
Yeah.
running records.
Yes.
Yeah.
But our audience may not know it, so if you could
Okay. So
explain.
running records is an assessment used for children in K through 2nd grade, just to see their you check their fluency, you check their accuracy rate. You just kind of look up on their miscues, like what does this child need? It's like for the foundation of reading,
Yeah.
right? And we know that the education system in Sierra Leone is far behind. The kids aren't
Yeah.
making that much progress. So even though in America it's designed for K through 2, it can be given to all students because you
Yeah.
can still get the same information.
Yeah.
So we focused. So the goal for the week was to do running records, which is how to implement the assessment, how to read the data from the assessment, and how to write a report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My plan was to do that over 2 days, and then we would do a writing assessment in 1 day, and then a math assessment because those 2 are easier, very cut and dry.
Yeah.
But we struggled with the running record.
Oh.
And the main thing was I was the student, and they said, we don't understand what you're saying. You don't sound like our student. And
You
you
mean the
talk,
language?
yes,
Oh,
even
I
though it's
see.
English, we all speak
Yeah,
English.
yeah, yeah.
But they said you're fast, and the words sound differently,
Yeah.
right?
American
So
English.
when they
Yeah.
said that to me, yes, I said, okay. I said, so this is probably a big problem with the assessments too. So they played this part of their uh, I forgot what the assessment's called, but it's like equivalent to the park test here, the standardized test.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called, I don't know what, the WAP or something, but it's a test that all the students take. There's an oral reading part.
Oh.
And they said majority of the kids don't pass it. And they actually played it for me, right? And the lady just says, oh my gosh, I can't remember what the word was. I can't remember what the word is, but the way that I pronounce it, heart. Let's say something like heart.
Yeah.
Right? I would say heart. They say hat.
Hat. Yeah.
Okay. So if you have to sound out, if you have to phonetically sound out hat, you're not going to say HEART or
Yes.
even HART. You're going to
Yeah.
say HAT. So we kind of all had a moment like, okay, this is a big issue with this
Yeah.
the reading in that part of the test.
Yeah.
Right. So, but my friend happened to be there that day, and she's from Sierra Leone, and she sounds like their student. So she was the student. And once she was the student, everybody got it.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, you'll be able to do it because your students don't sound like me. So it will work,
Yeah.
So I realized like, just and things like that in person, because when we did it before, I was also the student and I was on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was very helpful. So the focus of the week was assessment.
Okay. Quick question. I know schools in Sierra Leone are in English, but are the teachers speaking and the students speaking Creole to each other?
So when I met with the Minister of Education back in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
he said the language in the schools is English. And I just took that and ran that. They probably 9 times out of 10, they don't speak English, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But because I haven't observed it, but they're supposed to be speaking English.
Okay. All right. So your focus is informal assessments and running records, but I know that your training focus is special ed. So how do you tailor that to special ed teachers?
So the biggest thing that I always tell the teachers is you have to have data.
Yeah.
You can't just blindly have a group of 8-year-olds and say, okay, we're going to teach this. You should know what you're going to teach.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to separate the kids and be able to know who needs what.
Mm-hmm.
So the assessment, that's why I tell them with the assessments, like you need to give this assessment to everyone, then help the data to organize your small groups within the classroom.
Yeah.
Because you might have some kids that can stand up there and teach with you,
Yeah.
right? And those are the kids, and then you have some kids that, okay, they don't even have the foundation. So so that's how I tie it in. Just because, of course, for me, I give my students an annual assessment. But so I just want them to know that you can do this assessment. You can do assessments on your kids and measure their progress,
Mm-hmm.
give them the exact same assessment and, see how they're learning. And then I tie in, of course, the accommodation that they can provide for the student
Yeah.
with the instruction.
So do you believe that after the 5 days you were able to achieve what you set out to achieve in terms of your learning goals with the teachers?
Yes, I do. Because like I said, I do an assessment with them. And because when I first started in July 21, I was very ambitious with
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted them to learn. But I've learned them now. And because this information is brand new to them, I've kind of slowed it down,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I do assess them. And I push, the same way I push my students, I push them to ask clarifying questions and to really show that they fully understand everything. And the teachers, I have a teacher who has really been struggling the entire time. And she said, this is hard. I've never seen this stuff, but you are so patient
Oh, wow.
that you answer all my questions and you get it. And she actually did not pass the assessment the first time.
Yeah.
She asked for another opportunity. She studied overnight and then she passed the next time.
Oh, wonderful. That's good.
And like with teachers, like you don't really like I know for me, I do assessments like the park test. I've
Mm-hmm.
never sat down and did the park test,
Yeah.
but I think that teachers should
Yeah.
because if you can get a better understanding of what you should be teaching your students
Mm-hmm.
and how like what would confuse you, would confuse them.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I push with them.
Yeah. That's what they always say to English teachers, that we should sit and write essays along with our students so we can,
Yeah.
remember what the process is like. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
I would give, like, if there's a prompt that they have to write, I'll give an example,
Mm-hmm.
like something similar. I'll give an example just so they have the example and so that I know, like, okay, I didn't understand this, so let me change that.
Yeah. It's
You
good.
know?
Good pedagogy. Good practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I asked you about whether or not you met your goals and what you believe the teachers got from this. What did you take away from this 5-day training?
Wow. Well, I took away a few things. I think the main thing, and every time I go to Sierra Leone, now Gambia is only the second country I've been to, I get more humbled
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thankful to be born in this great country and have the access to things I have access to.
Yeah.
Because I think in my day-to-day life, I take it for granted and I do a lot of complaining,
Yes.
you know. So that's one thing, just kind of humbled me and to be thankful. Took that away. And then because another thing that I learned, I can't believe I didn't mention this, is that some people in Sierra Leone live their whole lives and never get on a plane.
Yeah.
So for them to get on a plane, even if it's just 45 minutes away,
Yeah.
is like an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And when I saw their pictures, I was like, oh yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So their pictures, their posts and everything. So that felt really good to be able to give them that opportunity, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I also took away from it that I am on the right path. Like what I'm doing
Yeah.
was in my mind, like I knew it was necessary, but I didn't know if, how beneficial it would be to the teachers and the students.
Mm-hmm.
But from meeting with my group of teachers and the Gambian teachers and even the ministry in Gambia and the ministry in Sierra Leone, they both said the same thing. Like they know they have this issue, but they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I feel good that I'm on the right path beyond supplies and a beautiful school, like doing something that is really going to be impactful long term.
Yeah. That's good. So, my favorite part of teacher trainings is always the food, the fun, and the foolery. So, tell us about the food, the fun activities you guys did, the prizes, etc. Tell us about that.
That's me too. Let me tell you something. I design these trainings around those things. I put the money in it because sometimes you get those paid PDs. Sometimes you just go
Yeah.
just because it's paid.
Especially in the summer when you're broke.
Yes, yes. $250. Yes, I want to learn about that, even though I already know it. Yes. So I add the stipend. They get a stipend to attend, and that's kind of just for initially because like they don't know me. I'm this American woman, and I want them to kind of buy into it. And money anywhere can make someone buy into it. And when you're in the third poorest country in the world, and the majority of the people make about $60 a month, and you can get paid $8 to sit for 3 hours and learn something that's going to benefit you. Like, I saw that as a win-win. Like I told you before, we do the raffles. I have literal raffle tickets. They get the raffle tickets, and as I'm doing the raffle tickets, I teach them little behavior management strategies. Like I said, like once someone's on task, don't call that person out, but congratulate the other people who are on task so that you're your attention in the right place.
Yeah.
And it worked because like the teacher who's on the phone is like, no, I was on my phone. I was just looking. I was like, okay, next time.
Yeah.
And I, told them what I was doing. And then when that teacher came and when they had the opportunity to be the teacher, they were doing the same thing. So I'm like, okay, they learned that.
Yeah.
The food. So BO is a cousin. She is an amazing cook.
Oh, wow.
She's a college student. She is the only cousin that I trust.
Hey.
I'll say it on the show.
What about me?
In Sierra Leone.
I'm joking.
In Sierra Leone. She helps me every month with the training. I send the stipends to her. I send her the money for the food. I send her money so she prepares the food. They love her cooking. She just makes basic, she makes this pot. The first day, I felt so out of place because, they meet every month. She goes and she makes their food.
Oh, okay.
She makes, and, we went to the market. She's like, oh, I'm going to get this pasta. The teachers really like it. I was like, okay. I was like, y'all are eating pasta for breakfast? Because, here, we're like, that's lunch or dinner.
Uh-huh.
But made this pasta. It was really good. They had it with the tapalapa bread. It was good, like really good. She makes really good food. So we make sure that she took care of breakfast and lunch for them, and then for dinner they were on their own. I asked them what they wanted, either dinner or lunch. So the food was just there. They had a fridge. What else? The fun. So like I told you, I have always have way too many supplies. In the beginning of the school year, I get more. And then people are always retiring or whatever.
Yeah.
So when they put the stuff out, they know now, they call me. They say, come, I have this stuff, come check through. And I get it. I have books, workbooks, sets of books, supplies, staplers, sticky notes,
Yeah.
all types. I just lay it out on the table. I took 57 pounds. Like one suitcase was full of supplies.
Oh, wow.
It was 57 pounds. It was over. They let me bring it on. And they, they just get to choose from those. I don't give it out, but some of the things like dry erase boards, they're like, no, you should not give someone the whole pack. You should give each of them like one. So I said, okay. Well, if everyone agrees, and then all the pens and pencils, I have a big box of pens and pencils.
Mhm.
I just bag them in Ziploc bags. They could take a bag of pencils, just so that they leave with something.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Also so the plan was to do more trips,
Mhm.
but because of the funding and everything, we ended up just doing one. But it was nice. We went to the monkey park.
Yeah, I saw that.
With monkeys.
Yeah.
We
That's
got to
really
play.
cool that you did an outing. I love that.
Yeah, it was fun. And here's the thing, like they were all, they're getting their stipend, so it probably ends up being like $40 for the week, which is
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot when you don't have to pay for food or anything.
Yeah.
So one was like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna buy Pampers for my baby, and whatever. So I said, look, I had to sit them down, and I said, look, this, I don't. When are you gonna come to Gambia again? I said, you're here. I said, get out. It said, say, keep half and spend half. I said, we're gonna go to this. I didn't make it mandatory.
Mhm.
I said, this is how much it costs, which was like, I don't know, if it was less than $1 to go in there. They give you a bag of peanuts to feed the monkey.
Mhm.
Then you get a tour through. I said, you don't have to go, but this is how much. One teacher was like, I don't know if I'm going to go. But the two men were like, yeah, we're going.
Oh.
Everyone else was like, I don't know. I was like, well, we're leaving at this time. But then everyone ended up coming. And they were so thankful. Like, oh, it was so fun. Blah, blah. Then the next day they went to the market. They were showing me the stuff they bought.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, but I noticed that no one bought anything that said Gambia. So before they left, I bought everyone a magnet.
Oh, that's cool.
To show that,
Yeah.
we've been to Gambia.
So even though they kind of lost their stipend because of the extra expenses, because people donated, you were able to still give it to them? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then a bunch of convincing because like just talking to other people, they're like, no, you have to do it. You have, even before I knew about the donations, they're like, no, you have to give them the stipend because they don't have anything.
Yeah. And they were
there.
And they probably were planning for what they were going to use it for. But when they get back home, yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, well, no. But it worked out. It worked out. They got it.
Awesome. So I know you met with some, I saw it on the, you met with, and you mentioned it, that you met with some Gambian teachers. Did the Gambian teachers and the Sierra Leone teachers get to collaborate at all?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about that.
When I did the 1-day training with them, I asked all the teachers to come. So they came and they didn't do much talking to them, but I introduced them.
Yeah.
And I did a raffle, again, more mandatory fun. We did the same type of raffle thing. They got the tickets, so the teachers, they just kind of helped me out. So they didn't really talk that much that I saw, because it was just like for about an hour and a half. But one of the things I would was to get into the training. So I'm starting a new group in September.
In Sierra Leone or Gambia?
In Sierra Leone.
Okay.
In Sierra Leone, but it's virtual. So.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I asked you that question because my favorite trainings were always the ones where I got to, mix with teachers from other schools or other counties, like the AP training, because I was an AP English teacher, and we would have the annual trainings where people would actually come from all over the Southeast and maybe even further, because people want to come to Florida, and they make it a little vacation to do like AP English training. So you would get to meet teachers from all over the country, and you get to like exchange like stories of how education works in your state and how you teach and what kind of testing you have. And it was just, those are my favorite trainings. So
that's it. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add that.
So I was just wondering, like, were they like exchanging stories about what it's like to teach in the Gambia versus Sierra Leone? That's why I was asking.
I saw them talking, but I didn't really give like that opportunity. I wish I would have talked to you before that. That would have been really good.
Yeah.
Like they talked a little bit, but there is one teacher that won the raffle to join the training in September, the new group.
Mm-hmm.
So he will be mixed in with them because I'm not training them. I'm training them, but I'm training my teachers I'm working with now to train them.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the current teachers become trainers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's wonderful.
That's the way we can spread quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A quick question about the 5 teachers. What age groups do they all teach?
So they teach from 5 years old to 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So primary. Yeah. Okay. So, you've gone quite far in this training, and now you're training the teachers to train up other teachers. How far have you got in terms of government assistance and legislation to make, special ed rules so that there's something to back what you're trying to do, if that makes sense?
Okay, so honestly, I haven't touched legislation
No, okay.
because, okay, I don't know if I should say this on tape, but I'll say it anyway.
I can always delete it if you need me to.
Because there are so many laws here in America
Mm-hmm.
for special needs, for children with special needs, for delivering special education services that look good on paper, but they're not practical and they're not always beneficial to
True.
the student. You
It's
get
true.
what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So the things that actually matter, that actually, because you can have annual meetings, you can send progress, you can do all those things, but you can write. I write 40-page IEPs, but the people who need to look at it don't look at it.
Yeah.
Don't give the supports page. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't even want to touch the legislation piece because I think that's where things get messed up. Like
Okay.
right now, I have full control. I have
Yeah.
full control because they don't have anything, so I can determine this is how you should deliver special ed services.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. Very valid point. 40-page IEPs.
Yeah, no one looks at it.
Yeah.
You just look at the date for when it expires. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Like that's how they stay in compliance. Not like, are you actually giving them the word bank? Are you actually making sure that you give them less multiple choices? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the sad truth. And I know teachers like that, but I also know teachers who we do adhere to IEPs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are some of us out there.
And there's some school districts that really make you do that.
Yeah.
And they hold the teachers accountable. But there are more that do not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It all comes down to, I've found in my experience, the parents advocating for their kids.
Yeah, but parents have to know how to
Yeah,
advocate for their kids
that's true.
and know what you're advocating for, because they also give parents here are your rule. What do they call it? The parental guidelines. Basically, your guidelines, your rights and responsibilities as a parent of a student with special needs. But it's 25 pages. What if you can't read? Or what if you have ADD and you can't focus that long? You know?
Yeah, that's true. So, you have mentioned during this conversation the financial need, that this does require money, as many things do. How can people help or give if they want to give? And if not financially, what other ways could people help to further this project?
So, I get this question a lot. The only other way to further help the project is to donate your time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's really for people there,
Yeah.
because it's hard for people here because what it looks like I finally broke it down, and it's about $900 a year per teacher, and that includes the in-person training,
Yeah.
right? It's a 3-year program. So each month, that's what I broke it down to. It's $900 to sponsor a teacher for the year, and that takes care of their training, their resources, their stipend, and the in-person training in July.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
if
then
somebody wants to give financially,
how do they do that?
yeah.
So the link to so I am fiscally sponsored, meaning I am under a nonprofit organization that allows me to operate as a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
And the website is HELP global.online.
Okay.
And that gives information on the program, and which I need to update it because I need to add our Gambia trip and what we've done so far. But it gives all the information there.
Yeah. Okay. So help-global.online if anybody wants to give towards this project.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's next for you in this project?
So what's next? We start a new, so it is a 3-year program.
Yeah.
So the 5 teachers that I started with, this is their final year. So we're going to finish out with informal assessments, and then like in about January, we're going to transition to where they are teaching.
Oh, wow.
Right? So they're going to start teaching that's literally given the same way we get our curriculum that tells you say this, say that, just like that is what I'm going to give them so that they can start to train other teachers.
Okay.
And then, so the new group starts in September. I'm excited about that. I have 3 teachers from Sierra Leone and now 1 from Gambia.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So, and then the goal is like, I know now from the Gambian because they actually connected me with UNICEF. UNICEF does their funding in January. So I'm on their radar. I didn't get to meet with them in Gambia, but I know they do their funding in January.
Okay.
So.
That's good. You have a lot going on. You know what you need? You need an assistant. That's what you need.
Yeah. I do. I actually have this 15-year-old daughter who so when I came back, she created the feedback survey for the teachers in Gambia.
Oh, okay.
And she created like an email group for them, all those little things. And then I have BO who is there in Sierra Leone. She helps too.
Yeah. What kind of feedback did you get?
I haven't received it all back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But just the oral, so I got feedback from so what the teachers did, they went and talked to the head of the people, the minister. They went and talked to them about how much they liked the training. But he called me, and before I left Gambia, he said, I want to hear from you how it went. He said, because they're saying good things, but I want to hear from you. And I was like, it was amazing. We didn't get to meet before I left because, that was like 3 days before I left. But, he's like, he really wants me to continue the work. They're going to figure out how we can continue to work with more teachers.
That's awesome. Wow.
So that was, they were so easy to navigate and so responsive, and you can tell like they really want to do this.
Yeah.
I haven't had the experience in our lovely country. But I'm not going to get my foot off their neck though.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Nemahun Aminata, thank you so much for sharing with us about your adventures in teacher training this summer in Gambia and all the amazing work that you're doing to train up special ed teachers in not just Sierra Leone now, but also in the Gambia. And like you said, you want to expand throughout the ECOWAS, the West African nations. It's truly amazing.
Thank you. Hopefully you can come back and the Wi-Fi will work properly this time.
Yeah, or maybe I'll just come to your in-person training next summer. How about that?
Yeah. Senegal's on the map for next year.
Oh, okay. I got to learn my French. I got to brush up on my French.
Yes, exactly. Me too. That's my goal for September.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Education Today. We'll be back next time with more current topics on all things education. In the meantime, you can email any questions or comments you have about the show to edtodaypodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button and consider leaving a review on whichever platform you are listening. We are listener supported, so if you are able to give a one-time or monthly donation, check out the show notes for ways in which you can give. Check out my blog for more about my experiences in education at medium.com/@SOKO. That's medium.com/@SOHKOR. You can also find me on Instagram at @SOKO_rights. That's at @SOHKOR_rights. See you next time, and thank you again for listening.